No. There is so many places to go. Where do I start? That's cool. Now what? Am I supposed to be here? This thing is useless. Alright, I'm bored. If you stopped Outer Wilds after saying any of those sentences, then my guide is hopefully going to help you feel less frustrated or lost or confused and give you some motivation to jump back in the game. Hello, I'm Falky, and first I just want to go through a bunch of disclaimers so you know exactly what this guide has and you don't risk getting any bad surprises. Okay, so this guide doesn't have a single spoiler about the story and not a single spoiler about any of the puzzles. Good. So who is this guide for? It's going to be mainly for two types of people. The people who quit the game but they wish they didn't quit it, and the people who like more linear, not open world game, but they still want to play that one. Why am I making this guide? So I quit this game after playing it for like 10 hours because I got annoyed not having a clear main quest, no real direction to follow, a lot of reading, and just overall the open worldness felt kinda overwhelming to me. Now quitting the game made me want to go read the negative reviews to see what other people were complaining about, and I could relate with like 99% of the complainers, and the 1% being the people saying that the handling of the ship was trash, even though me with my keyboard and mouse I was completely fine going around, but whatever. I have never seen a game with this amount of people saying stuff like I gave this game X amount of tries but I cannot, or I really wanted to like this game but, and it's crazy the amount of people who say this, so reading all this kinda made me want to push back and to go back in the game to fight against my own issues, which I did, and I'm pretty happy I did. So this is how this guide is going to work. First, I'm going to explain something I call the dictionary concept, which is about how to visualize the game progression, and then second, I'm going to play a slideshow of pictures. So hopefully one of those parts, or both, are going to make you want to jump back in the game, and I hope you will, and that you're gonna be glad you did. So first part, the dictionary concept. You need to see the game as if it was a dictionary that is teaching you a new language that you know nothing about, and every single location in the game is a page of the dictionary, and the entire thing is in English, but there is some kind of like final chapter at the end, and this one chapter is fully in the new language that you're learning. So the goal is to randomly open the book anywhere that you want, which means in the game landing anywhere that you want, to randomly gain more and more vocabulary, to at some point figure out that you have enough knowledge to translate the final special chapter, and by doing that, finishing the book. So there is no order, it's okay to miss a few pages, but of course, the more vocabulary you have, and the more you're gonna be comfortable to read this one final chapter. That's it. I know maybe it sounds a bit underwhelming or a bit odd, but it would have worked on me. If someone told me about this from the beginning, I would have been way less frustrated by the game. So if it doesn't really resonate with you, I'm sorry, but at least we have the second part, which is the slideshow. So I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures taken from my ship, which means that you can access the locations right away by just flying there, of every location of the game where there is something to scan, and scanning those things will add an entry to your ship log over here, which is super important because from there you get a little message that you have more stuff to explore or that you're done with the location. I would say the best thing to do is to use those pictures as a checklist, which is why I number them, and trying to explore all of them, and when it seems like you cannot enter one of them, then the solution to enter it is most likely in a different location. So you just cannot go next. So if you check every single one of those locations, I promise you have way more knowledge than you need to complete the game. Also, I left out on purpose one location, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Alright, slideshow time. And that's it for part 2. So it's very difficult to give tips about this game because people consider that everything is a spoiler, which is kinda true, but I really wanted to help the people who did want help, and I know it's scary to Google anything about this game, so making this what I consider spoiler-free was very important to me. There is many more like general advices and many more tips that you can get to have a better time with the game, but then I feel like it becomes too much. It becomes like a chore to think about everything that you need to think about, to explore and to do stuff, and that's why I really wanted to focus on the whole dictionary concept and the slideshow, because personally that is the two things I would have needed to have just a better time with the game. Also, I know that even though I tried to show and say only the minimum possible, I'm sure I'm gonna have some people offended that I'm spoiling the real experience or whatever, but I would rather do this and enable some people to finish the game than having them never go through it ever and missing out on this story that I think is worth listening to. So this is all I had to say. Thank you for watching. This was my first video with like an actual script. Usually I just type a bunch of bullet points into my notepad and I go through them one by one, which end up making me like repeat myself like 70 times, and it's a little bit annoying. So hopefully now reading the script, I don't sound too robotic or whatever, but I think it's fine. Okay, well, thank you for watching. I hope that at least one person will want to get back in after watching this, and if so, then you can tell me about it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye bye.